In this demo, we will go a step forward with writing Dockerfile and will explore configuration instructions. Again, we are in S2 directory, which contains individual directory for every demo. Let's navigate to directory called D2. There we go. As you can see, there is a Dockerfile already present in this directory. Let's open it with nano. As you can see, this Dockerfile also has a base image of Ubuntu 16.04 mentioned using from instruction as described in previous demo. But this time we have skipped using arg instruction and directly provided the version number. Now we have run and env, which are configuration instructions. Although they are not the only entries in the list of configuration instructions, but these are the ones that we will cover in current demo. Let's go through them one by one. Run asks Docker to execute the command mentioned with it on top of the base image, and the results are committed as a separate layer on top of the base image layer. Here we have more than one mentions of run, and each one creates its own separate layer. With the first run instruction, we have provided the commands to update the OS, install curl and clean up later on, whereas the second run simply makes a directory named codes under home directory. Don't confuse it with our host machine's home directory though. Here we are talking about base image OS home directory, and the codes will be created on that base image, not on our host machine. Then we have used env, which is another configuration instruction. It does what its name suggests. It sets up environmental variables. We have used it 3 times to set user, shell and logname environment variables. Just like the previous demo, we have used cmd, but we will go into that later. Again, we will use the docker build command to build this image, but this time we will tag it as img_run-env to separate it from the previous image. As you can see, in this build, the first step is directly involving setting up the base image since we have skipped using arg instruction. Step 2 will perform all of the commands used in first run instruction and will perform the commands of second run instruction, which is making a directory. Step 4, 5 and 6 will set environmental variables as mentioned in the Dockerfile, and the super fast step 7 will get our image ready to run. Let's list out our available images with docker images command. These images are the ones currently available on the host. Our top image is the img_run-env image. Now let's go one step further and run this image as container with docker run-itd command. The itd represents interactive, teletype enabled and detached respectively. We are naming the to be running container as cont_run-env, and the target image is img_run-env, which we have just created. The command was successful and we have just received the unique container ID provided by Docker for our container. Here we have 2 containers running, among which first is the one which we run recently. It is up means running for 5 seconds and it is running the bash command. Now let's execute our container's bash command. Here the bash command and the process was running in background due to the detached flag set while running the container. Now we are bringing it forward. As you can see, now we are in the root directory of our cont_run-env container. Let's list out the directories here. Yes, the structure looks similar to a regular Linux instance. Now let's verify the environmental variables which we had set with env instruction while writing the Dockerfile. As you can see, the user, shell, and log name variables are just as we had set them up. Now let's navigate to home directory. As we list it out, we can also verify the creation of the codes directory, which was supposed to be created from our run instruction of the Dockerfile. Finally, we can get back to our host environment by exiting the container using simple exit command.